everybody, this is Jeff here with another Steel Division video. On the other side is Vulcan with the 4th Armored. Chill. That's what I'm going to call him. Chill with the 3rd Canadian, War Dog with the 15th Infantry, and Smitty with the 1st SSB. On my side is Salt, Epox, Sierra, and then me. I'm over here, and the wonderful Sierra's there. Salt is there, which leaves Epox over here. And I have to say, I like this team. Very communicative team. Nice little chat with the other side while spawning, which is nice because it took like 8 minutes to spawn, which is why I've started with the end of the spawning period. We can actually get straight to the battle. And I am using the 12 SS Panzer, and forgot that my 12 SS Panzer deck is immensely weak in Phase A, where this is my only tank. That's all I got. And I got some infantry, which are expensive, but this, the infantry is 35 each, and then this thing adds 20, so the total cost of each infantry is 55. Yeah, it's a bit painful. I have no anti-tank guns, because I don't use anti-tank guns. So there's no towed anti-tank guns. I don't even get artillery in Phase A. I have next to nothing. So, we advance. Chill's over here. On this side is Smitty. Over here is Vulcan, and Vulcan, and Vulcan, and more Vulcan. He's got 2 tanks. My guys kind of dismount at slightly the wrong time. Boom. So yeah, he has my worst enemy, the Abrams command tank. And then he's got an M4 105 as well. And over in the factory is War Dog. Up against Zero. So yeah, it doesn't particularly start off all that well for me, because I moved my Firefly here to try to get flanking fire down this way and that way, but it's at an angle here, which means I don't actually have line of fire onto these 2 tanks. But, Salt's little gun does good there. That ram turned out to be a little bit of an annoyance. Fight for the town there. A little bit of fighting over here. But not a lot happens very quickly. I'm just trying to call in some more infantry, because that's about all I've got. There's a little anti-tank half-track with Panzer Shrek dude in it. Not the best AP, but hey. It's handy. It's got high explosive. It can fire that high explosive shell 1,000 meters. So yeah. Some bigger fights in the urban areas. Decent fight going on here for the factory. As usual, factory's a factory. And usually over here, the fight takes place in this area, but Epox has kind of moved the fight over to the side a little bit, as he's having an artillery duel with those 2. Between a Sherman and a Pak-38. The Pak-38 isn't exactly going to win that. Wow, those guys died quick. How many sniper rifles do you have? Just for one. Yeah, Smitty's working his way through the gap that's there. Pushing pretty hard. I'm trying to maneuver my Firefly around, trying to get a line of sight on something, and not really doing it. But apparently now this thing can slightly move through the trees. So I decided to move it up and see if Vulcan will poke back through again. A little bit of an infantry fight going on over there. I ultimately decide to hold my Sherman Firefly back. I got the infantry and it's still in that, not moved. Getting notifications for stuff going on over there on the other side of the map. So yeah, I was trying to have that guy stay up there to provide recon, but Vulcan wasn't having any of that. So I call in 2 more of them. One thing I have in this deck is plenty of recon. But mostly right now it's just me and Vulcan posturing for position. I don't have the force to push, so pushing's not an option. I just don't have what I need to do so. And the M475 Abrams command unit is frankly a really good and powerful unit to have in Phase A. Because a Pack 40, is it? A Pack 38 can't handle it. Because the Pack 38 only has an AP of 10, which this is at a front armor of 10, so at long range, you really have to get the gun up close to reliably penetrate it, and it just bounces and bounces and bounces shells. I had gone to move my Firefly over here to try to take out the Ram, but the Ram ends up going down to something else before I can go out here and take it out. Probably went down to the Martyr 3. I wish I had a Martyr 3 in my deck, but I don't. So I decided to move my Firefly more over here. Decided to go for a little cheeky little push here to try and give us a little bit of front line, because the Allies are ahead at the moment. I do manage to push it all the way up there, but half-tracks versus tanks. Who do you think's going to win? There's Hellcats. Hellcats, and I don't have anything in position. Although this, with its little 37mm gun, if it would actually hit, can pen that. Because the AP on this is 5 at max range, and this has only got a 4 armor. So at max range, it's a 50-50, as long as it hits. But the accuracy is a whopping 4, so hitting is asking a bit much of these things. Cavalry scouts with bazookas. Trying to use my Firefly to take care of some of the stuff and provide cover and slow things down. Not really succeeding. And this recoilless rifle over here. No, it's not a recoilless rifle. If it would hit an accuracy of 5, it could go through this, but again, the question is hitting. Get that to surrender, which is good. But we're kind of jockeying for position over here. And he's bringing in some reinforcements. These are... what are they? They're just jeeps. Jeeps with random infantry. Hey, kitty. Yeah, I'm trying to get my infantry into here so I can get the Panzerfaust into play, but they keep, yeah, it doesn't really work. Plan failed. This guy's hiding out in the back. So, my Firefly does manage to kill something, even if it's just a jeep. And I see them pushing it here, and I kind of realize that I can't outrun the Hellcats, so I just try to stop here and hopefully take one of them out. But he hit and bounced and didn't actually kill it. No one, of course, they just take it out for a shot. So yeah, he hit, but it didn't actually kill it. it's like on his last legs. But, oh well. So at this point, I have, like, next to nothing. Trying to be a little bit clever and sneaking a Panzerfaust shot on something. It's like these half-tracks are kind of stuck there. But it isn't really going to work out in my favor. Got my command unit pulling back. I've got a Panzer Shrek up there. Panzer Shrek's really convenient because he's got a range of 250. So it's pretty easy to ambush stuff with that. And I move him up. He gets a shot. Fires and wounds the crew. Downside is the reload is way too long, so I just kind of go to have him pull back. The armor is so light on these things that they'll actually fire machine guns at him. I figure I might get a cheeky shot off on the Abrams again, but he's pulling back, and the rifle's just killing my Panzer Shrek. I don't know what that command unit's doing. He shouldn't be there. Run away! You'll never make it alive. So, yeah. At this point, Vulcan basically broke me, because I had... The only long-range anti-tank I had was this. And that's my only Phase A tank. And really my only Phase A anti-tank. I just don't have anything to stop what's coming. Spalling driver wounded, and it's dead. Vulcan doesn't quite drive into a position where that will kill him. So yeah, Vulcan's able to push through me here, and I've got, like, nothing that can stop him. Oh, Wittman's coming. He's a little bit delayed. Ah, yes. He pulls back. These guys are caught there in the open. Missed. So I've got Tiger E. Wittman coming up and a command Panzer IV. As more of my stuff just kind of dies. So elsewhere, pause it for a second. Salt is doing really well in this town here, as he's managed to almost fully secure the town. He's certainly on the far end of town. He's got a bulge going on in there, and he's pushed pretty far forward. Bad kitty. Epox is holding back Smitty, but he has lost these trees, so he's fighting in the open field here. And on my left, Sarah has done a very good job taking and securing the far end of the factory. And I am currently being pushed back by Vulcan. That guy gets stunned down. He's desperately trying to take care of that infantry. But at some point, that infantry that died did manage to take out this guy's tank treads. So he's stuck there. And I call for help going, I don't have anything to stop this. Because Abrams has been pretty lucky in not dying so far. It's reached the point where Vulcan is actually kind of got stuff to help up against Sierra. He's got a Jeep there. He's got his mortar there to try to open this flank up. And there is nothing here to stop him. He could just drive right through real quick if he had something to go through with. And I've got my tank here supporting this area. But seeing what's going on, I've got a Panzerwerfer. I've got some more scouts coming in. And Sierra has brought in a Stug 3G. And because Vulcan's distracted over here, I decided to do a cheeky little push on my right side in support of Salt. See if we can push this part of the border back, because we've managed to get ourselves back to 0-0. Because Salt is kind of ripping right through... Chill. I'm trying to remember the names as I read it. And really, the color scheme for reading names here is not very good at all. So, find a bazooka team. Try to take out the bazooka team. Not having a hell of a lot of success. Use this guy, Nebula War for that. Pushes the border back. Pushes a tank back. And I've got that pinned down. I've got that running away. And my spare troop run into some recon from Vulcan. And we keep running into various different problems. I have no clue what just killed that. Oh. Tiger Wittman. One of his first of many, many kills. Gets a Hellcat. Get that to surrender with my Panzer Grenadier. Gives me these trees. This Hellcat runs out to, of course, kill my half-tracks, but discovers that there is a Pack 38 and a Martyr, and gets wiped out. So, Sierra's Stug 3G was forced back, but I've got a Jagd Panzer 4 coming to back it up. I got some more infantry. I've deployed my recon. Give me line of sight onto stuff, which is doing very well. Line of sight wise. Sierra sends out an HS-129 to take out a Hellcat. And I continue to move up my infantry and my Jagd Panzer. Along with a mortar now. Because I don't get artillery in this deck until Phase B, so Phase A for this deck is just atrociously bad. And I push forward with my half-tracks here, because seeing this salient there tells me there's units in here. In fact, kind of the intel you can gather from the border. Because the border's pushed so close up against my units here, but it's so far back here, I know there's an infantry unit in here. In fact, I know precisely where it is. It's in these buildings, because the way the border is being forced by the presence of nearby units. There's an infantry unit right in this building. Since all the stuff over here is rather far away, the infantry unit's influence can push out pretty far. But since my unit is right here, it's a 50-50 split where the unit is, and that's pretty much where it is. Like, this is the 50-50 point between that unit and the unit that's in here. And, well, you don't affect the border. And this here is 50-50 from these two units. I have lots of little bits of intel you can gather from the way the border is being pushed. In fact, let's take a look. Go to neutral. I'm slightly wrong. But you can see what I was saying with the 50-50. The influence will always reach 50% of the way to the unit, and by using how the border is being pushed, you can get an idea of where the enemy unit is. It'll still sometimes be off a bit, which, if you call an artillery strike for one of these things, which is an area effect weapon anyway, doesn't really matter. But if I called it a mortar strike in, I would have missed the command unit. But if I'd used this, because the circle's so big, I might have still hit it. But you can use the way the border is being forced, because you can clearly tell there's nothing over here with the way the border is being forced. But you can clearly tell there's something here by the fact that I can't push the border back any further, despite how close my units are to it. And we'll go back to my site. So, now I see this here, and I spot the GMC coming to resupply it. Dunk. Yeah, you're not getting through a Panzer IV, a Panzer Jaeger, a Jaeger Panzer. And I use this to kill the supply truck to prevent this thing from being mobile again. And then proceed to start shooting at it with the Panzer IV. Of course, Vulcan brings his Hellcats over to try to provide support to keep Abrams alive. This is about where I discovered there's a 50-50% chance to kill these things using the SDKFZ 250/10. It's like, oh, that's different. That's interesting. Wasn't expecting that, but he can't stay there and fight because he doesn't stand a slightest chance. But fighting continues there, so I'm just like, fine, screw it. 109, missiles, boom, and problem solved. And now, with the fact that this guy's dead, Vulcan doesn't actually have a reason to push forward with his Hellcats anymore, so he pulls back. But I still have line of sight, thanks to my scout, for a change, seeing something more than their damned feet. Now, Salt and I have pushed a very large... well, he's pushed a very, very large assailant, and I've pushed out the flank of the assailant, out to about there. And then pretty much just leave Salt to his thing over here. Oh, and Recon's dead. So yeah, I know there's stuff in the tree line. So I blow it up. And force it all back. Does it get in the line of sight? It does, but it's out of Wittman's range. Wittman's watching it. He sees the things. He wants to shoot them, but there's a tree line and stuff in the way. But Vulcan does come out here and take out the half-tracks, which makes sense because he can see them. But still, Salt has an infantry unit running forward, which I don't think Vulcan can see. Yeah, he can't see it. Not yet. This isn't really going to be enough against what's in there, though. So I've got Tiger Wittman moving up slowly. I'll have the Panzer IV following them shortly behind. I've got my off-map already on another mission. 109, armed with really big rockets. Boom. This forces this tank to fall back and trying to support my ally over here. And there's Wittman. And just before he fires, gets his third star and a very dead Hellcat. This kind of moves into the wrong spot. Very unfortunate time for that AA. So Wittman, at 3 stars, misses. That doesn't. So, Salt is over there trying to take this tree line to keep his assailant out. AC has started. Schmitty has been pushed back by the combined forces of Epochs and Salt. And I'm slowly pushing Vulcan back. And Zero has done a very good job pushing through the factory into the town here, and now we have a big assailant there. Big, big assailant. Again, the 50-50 point, roughly, between these two units that can exert influence. Even though it's more in the favor of this guy, because that's a commander. We get to going again. Slowly pushing up the Wittman Tiger. I've got my mortar. Dropping on the WC-52. And over here, we have the fight there ongoing in the town. Trying to keep him down. I could have moved this up, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. And there's the Hellcat there. Yay, Tiger Wittman. So the M8's cavalry units found my Spa troop. And Now I'm just slowly pushing forward. I know because of the way the border here is, there's stuff in these trees. I don't want to get close to the trees because I was scared of anti-tank infantry being in position. Which it turned out there's an anti-tank infantry right over here. If I'd wandered my tank over, that would have been not so pretty. But Wittman is going ham. Taking out anti-aircraft, anti-tank, anti-infantry stuff. He is just going ham. And my recon is just there going, ah, we're being shot at. Trying to move my recon up over here, but that guy spots them and then, well, they get shot up and die. So yeah, so Vulcan has a pretty big position over there, pretty big presence in this area. And a smaller presence to my front, and then a bit of a presence not over there. To get a Hellcat. He's bringing in some anti-tank guns. So yeah, I've got my guy here. On occasion takes stuff out. Recon is shown up there. This is now behind enemy lines, so I decide to send my mortar in after it. What I want to do is get both of these units suppressed so I can use my half-tracks to get them to surrender. And I've got these infantry moving up to help clear it out. So these ends up being taken out by the cavalry scouts. One of the 76mm guns takes out my Panzer IV, which of course, in the tradition of all the Panzer IVs I bring onto the map, comes onto the map, says I exist, shoots and kills nothing, and then dies. I have the worst luck with Panzer IVs. Ultimately, I'm just advancing over here with infantry, expanding the assailant, dropping rockets on the 76mm, and forcing Vulcan out of these trees. And using a mortar, pins these down again. Eventually I move up something to take care of them. Oh look, my recon's dying. Neutral. 250-10s up there doing damage. Mortars there doing damage. Do I ever kill those? No, I just kind of left them there. They're on my side of the map. They're not exerting border influence, which kind of means they're a bit hidden there. My 250 starts shooting at a half-track, which the Tiger Wittman takes. My rockets take out one of the 75s, or 76mm guns. It's around there somewhere. So Vulcan pulls back the M5 gun, which this will be important later. It'll be very important later. I decide not to go for it. I figured it'd be out of sight before this guy got to fire on it. So Vulcan's bringing up another supply of Hellcats. He's got 4 more Hellcats coming. They're backed up by an M5 gun. Another Hellcat over there. That's about it. Sierra's doing a very... Oh, that's Salt over there now. Supporting Sierra. Brought a Tiger E over. Because, well, it's going too well over here, so... I guess Salt kind of figures, like, I don't need to do much. So I'm going to go to the other side of the map. And there's that command unit that is just sitting there, putting a little circle of blue in our space. And then everything sees him. And that doesn't last much longer. So yeah, okay. Vulcan tries to storm my Tiger Wittman there with Hellcats. I put smoke to limit line of sight, and he figures that he's not going to go that way. Reasonable. So he starts moving his tanks to go this way. Well, I've got this plane coming in, and this one forces these guys off, stunning both of those tanks, and they proceed to fall back right into line of sight of Tiger Wittman. First one taken out, and second one taken out. So he decides to try to rush him, but they discover this, and that stuns it enough that they don't actually manage to hit. So Wittman gets that Hellcat, and Wittman kind of decides to start trying to fall back. Yep, and then he falls back, at about which time my Panther shows up. And this is where it confirmed that there's indeed a 50-50% chance of this killing that. It doesn't do it, but there's a 50-50% chance if that hits of killing a Hellcat. Both of these now have damaged wheels and tracks. Forces them back. They spot the Panzer Grenadier, open fire the Panzer Grenadier, but not before I get that to surrender. Mortar dead. Jeep dead. Look, fighters. I think this is pretty much where they discover I have no AA. This could have almost got killed by the cavalry scouts. That was giving Vulcan a lot of good intel. But still stunned and running Hellcats within range of Tiger Wittman. They're not quite getting out of the way fast enough because they're kind of stuck there for some reason. So Wittman just dismantles them. Nice. Jag de Panzer. Got one of the Vulcans. And this is where Smitty drops out of the game again. Smitty has massive connection problems. He doesn't quit. He's actually just losing connection every time. So I catch this Hellcat with my Panzer Grenadier. First shot doesn't kill it, second shot does. You know, the first shot was ultimately a kill because it was bailed out, and once they're bailed out, they're pretty useless. Weapons jammed. Yay. That was a good deal of fighting over here, but pretty much taking care of Vulcan. I like how his recon sees my guy, but my guy doesn't see his recon. And Vulcan's brought in 2 M4A1 76 command units. He's got an anti-tank gun there, 76 mil gun there. And the other guy, Chill, is over here. But the fight on this side of the map is really not going well for the Allies. It's not going well anywhere for the Allies on this map. So I decided to start pushing forward in this area here. Because much of, like, the mortar has been taken out. The vehicle that was there was taken out. There's wreckage of a few units. It's like, this is a good time to attack. Support Salt's Tiger E here. I know there's infantry there. Set the buildings on fire. Does move it back. Using the map as a hint to where units are, I managed to hit both units. Which is handy. And also, there's only going to be certain buildings that people occupy here, so it's pretty predictable which buildings it's going to end up in, because I've seen people put them in there over and over and over again. So between that, like, I can now tell that they're recovering, because the border's being pushed more towards my unit. But between the border influence and experience with fighting in this area, I know where units end up going. So I really wish there were more maps. It'd be a heck of a lot better because it'd be a lot less predictable in that way. Like, there's that. That Tiger E is a little bit too close, but it doesn't matter. And my guy here is taking out the reinforcements. Badly. This exposes itself. But doesn't kill it. Taking out more of the reinforcements. A lot of those jeeps. And Salt's got this Panzer Grenadier there. Not quite in line of sight to shoot a Panzerfaust at that, which is a bit unfortunate, because it'd be nice if it was. I've got my recon unit to go into these buildings here and find out where that infantry unit is. Because for all I know, it's an infantry unit with an anti-tank. I'm always careful about that, because I love to use infantry anti-tank to ambush stuff at close range. So, spot it. And then use long-range support from Wittman and this Panther G to pin the rifles down, and some closer range support from the Jagdpanzer. Pin this down, get them to surrender. Kind of all at the same time killing my own recon unit. But here we go. Vulcan's tanks are over there, trying to take care of that Tiger E. Not really working for them. They do manage to push off that. So I rocket those things, keep them from killing this Tiger E there, or the command unit, and rocket the village, because I saw trucks moving into it, so I figured there was infantry. And there is. Even though it's just recon. So the Panzer moves up, Wittman moves up, and that gun's still there. As I keep trying to move forward here, my Jagdpanzer Panzer IV finds these guys, doesn't really get any kills, and Vulcan finally kills that Tiger. Oh, it was War Dog that killed it with a 17-pounder. So this guy's moving into position. And Wittman is looking over here. So, flank shot, boom, Wittman is dead. Because I didn't rocket this, which is what I should have done. Do ultimately kill it. But I didn't do what I needed to do, and now Wittman is dead. Because I knew that was there, but I never actually finished it off. But I got another Tiger E over there. And if I'm correct, look, a replacement Tiger for Wittman. And this is where I'm getting annoyed, because I don't have any fighters. Or AA. So I am completely helpless against this B-26 Marauder. But I've got Panthers, and I've got this little grill coming up. But over here, it's pretty much finished. We're getting a +3 now. And we just got another large chunk of the map with the death of that Bren carrier. I've got this Panzer Grenadier moving up there with his Panzerfaust, killing the WC-52s, which are nifty little units. And I've got my Panthers finding shots into these rhinos. And also finding shots into the Scout. And then there's that B-26 that I am completely helpless against because I've got no AA. But I do call in a fighter. With the intention of killing it in that way. As we expose units up one by one, put them under fierce fire from multiple directions and take them out that way. Someone doesn't like me having a recon. Oh look, that recon's dead. Here come these, and down goes that, and the game ends. So, how did Wittman do before he died? Well, Vulcan ended up taking 2-1 losses. Chill ended up taking 3-1 losses. War Dog ended up coming out ahead, and Schmitty also pretty much took 3-1 losses. Salt got 3-1, almost 4-1 kills. Epoch's got almost 2-1 in kills. Sierra got about even, actually. And I somehow came out 2-1 almost. History, yada yada yada. So, there's Wittman. Because he went freaking ham. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 kills. That's the problem. He got to 13 and didn't get to 14 fast enough, so he died. But got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Hellcats. 6 Hellcats. Jagd Panzer kind of helped out with a GMC, trying to save the Abrams command tank, a bazooka, and 3 of these guys there. SDKFZ got some rifles. This guy is who got the Abrams in the end. Panzerwerfer's got a little bit of stuff. This guy killed a half-track. Panzerwerfer got a 76mm gun. Panther G got a Jeep and some Cav Scouts. The Tiger E got an M476. Panther got an M5 guns, a Stuart Remy, and a Rhino. And then the Grill got some Cavalry Scouts. Grill's a pretty nifty little unit for 90 points. The unit that killed me the most was, unsurprisingly, the Abrams. Well, not an actual Abrams tank. Someone yelled at me once in the comments for that. No, I call it the Abrams because it's the Abrams, Cretan Abrams is the commander, and so I refer to it the Abrams. And it is an incredibly powerful unit in this game. Because you get a Phase A M4, which is just freaking scary. But it got a lot. This one Hellcat got the Firefly. And the Hellcats really, well, the 105 underperformed as well, but the Hellcats really underperformed. Shockingly underperformed. Yeah, that was fun. I wanted to show that off, because, well, that kill list. But that was pretty much luck on my side, because my deck is not strong in Phase A, and Vulcan got the Firefly really quick, which cost me a lot. So, hooray! But Wittman stopped his further pushes, because he had to take care of Wittman before he could really do much, but Wittman was stubborn and untaken careable. He just refused to go down. Helps to have a couple rockets go in at the correct time to stun things, and a few nifty smoke shots from a mortar to prevent line of sight. But that was pretty much... Tiger Wittman was the last gamble, and I had to keep him going. And I did it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you all for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to hit that stupid little bell thing that YouTube has added, because otherwise you won't get notifications of any new videos if you subscribe. Also, follow me on Twitter, @GenJeft, as I always have my video updates on there, so you will never miss a video if you're on my Twitter feed, because it'll all be posted. And any other dumbass comment I make as well. So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.